One night, when Dean ate supper at my house, he already had the parking lot job in New York. He leaned over my shoulder as he tapped rapidly away and said, "Come on, man, those girls won't wait, make it fast." I said, "Hold on just a minute, I'll be right with you as soon as I finish this chapter." And it was one of the best chapters in the book. Then I dressed and off we flew to New York to meet some girls. As we rode in the bus, but in the weird phosphorescent void of the Lincoln Tunnel, we leaned on each other with fingers waving, yelled, and talked excitedly, and I was beginning to get the bug like Dean. He was simply a youth, tremendously excited with life, and though he was a con man, he was only coming because he wanted so much to live and to get involved with people who would otherwise pay no attention to him. He was conning me, and I knew it, for room and board and how to write, etc., and he knew I knew. This has been the basis of our relationship, but I didn't care, and we got along fine. No pestering, no catering. We tiptoed around each other like heartbreaking new friends. I began to learn from him as much as he probably learned from me. As far as my work was concerned, he said, Go ahead, everything you do is great. He watched over my shoulder as I wrote stories, yelling, "Yes, that's right, whoa, man," and I go phew, and wiped his face with his handkerchief. Man, wow, there's so many things to do, so many things to write. How do we even begin to get it all down and without modified restraints and all hung up on like literary inhibitions and grammatical fears? That's right, man, now you're talking. And a kind of holy lighting I saw flash from his excitement and his visions. Which he described so torrentially that people in buses looked around to see the overexcited nut. In the West, he'd spent a third of his time in the pool hall, a third in jail, and a third in the public library. They'd seen him rushing eagerly down the winter stairs bareheaded, carrying books to the pool hall or climbing trees to get into the attics of buddies where he spent days reading or hiding from the law. In the month of July 1947, having saved about $50 from old veteran benefits, I was ready to go to the West Coast. My friend Remy Bonnecoeur had written me a letter from San Francisco saying I should come and ship out with him on a round-the-world liner. He swore he could get me into the engine room, but I thought I wrote back and said I'd be satisfied with any old freighter so long as I could take a few long Pacific trips and come back with enough money to support myself and my aunt's house while I finished my book. He said, he had a shack in Mill City, and I would have all the time in the world to write there while we went through the rigmarole of getting the ship. He was living with a girl called Lee Ann after Mary Lou. He said she was a marvelous cook and everything would jump. Remy was an old prep school friend, a Frenchman, brought up in Paris, and a really mad guy. I didn't know how mad at this time. So he expected me to arrive in 10 days. My aunt was all in accord of my trip to the West. She said it would be good. I've been working so hard all winter and staying in too much. She even didn't complain when I told her I'd have to hitchhike some. All she wanted was for me to come back in one piece. So leaving my big half manuscript sitting on top of the desk and folding back my comfortable home sheets for the last time one morning, I said, I left my canvas bag in which a few fundamental things were packed. Took off the Pacific Ocean with $50 in my pocket. This book is quite good.